ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्य कृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम विदितानमया विशदैककला न च किञ्चन काञ्चनमस्ति गुरो द्रुतमेव विदेहि कृपां सहजां भव शंकर देशिक मे शरणम्। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः सर्वेषां गुरूणां देवतानां परब्रह्मणः श्रुतिमादु अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः पुनरुत्थानजागरणविश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मसंस्थापकानां भक्तानां सेवकानां बाह्याभ्यन्तरशत्रुविघ्ननिर्मूलन निवारणद्वारा शक्तिसाधना संपदावाप्तिद्वारा दिग्विजय प्राप्त्यर्थम समस्त विश्व ब्रह्मांड एकता समैक्यता प्राप्त्यर्थम हिरण्यगर्भः सूक्तस्य पारायणं तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। Let us chant Hiranyagarbha Suktam for 5 days. May Lord Hiranyagarbha help us in understanding the Shastras, because we are studying Patanjali Yoga Darshanam. It is given to us by him. We are also studying the Mundaka Upanishad, that also is given by him in Telugu. And he is the one who is the upholder of the Vedas, Vedanta and all. So that Hiranyagarbha bless us with Brahma Vidya. ओम अथ हिरण्यगर्भः सूक्तं ऋग्वेद संहिता दशमं मंडलम् अष्टमाष्टकम् एकविंशत्युत्तरशततमः सूक्तम् ओम ओम हिरण्यगर्भः समवर्तताग्रे भूतस्य जातः पतिरेक आसीत् सदाधार पृथिवीं द्यामुते मां कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम य आत्मदा बलदा यस्य विश्व उपासते प्रशिशं यस्य देवाः यस्य छायामृतं यस्य मृत्यु कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम यः प्राणतो निमिषतो महित्वैक इद्राजा जगतो बभूव य ईशे अस्य द्विपदश्चतुष्पद कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम यस्येमे हिमवन्तो महित्वा यस्य समुद्रं रसया सुबाहुः सहाहुः यस्येमा प्रदिशो यस्य बाहु कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम ये नद्यौ रुग्रा पृथिवी च दुह्व्या येन स्वः स्वस्तवितं येन नागः यो अंतरिक्षे रजसो विमान कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम यं क्रन्दसि अवसातस्तभाने अभ्यैक्षेतां मनसारे जमाने यत्राधिसूर उदितो विभाति कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम आपोह यद्बृहतेर्विश्वमायन् गर्भं ददाना जनयन्तीरग्निं ततो देवानां समवर्ततासुरेक कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम यश्चिदापो महिना पर्यपश्यत् दक्षं ददाना जनयन्तिर्यज्ञं यो देवेष्वति देव एक आसीत् कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम मानो हि कंसीत् जनिताय पृथिव्यायो वादिवं सत्यधर्मा जजान यश्चापश्चन्द्रा बृहतेर्जजान कस्मै देवाय हविषा विधेम प्रजापतेन त्वदेतान्यन्यो विश्वा जातानि परिता बभूव यत्कामास्ते जुहुमस्तन्नो अस्तु वयं स्यामवतयोरयीणाम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णे यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुवे पूर्वं प्रणवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत् तद्वक्तारमावीत् आवीन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ तृतीयोऽनुभागः ॐ प्राणन्देवा अनुप्राणन्दे मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ते ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणपक्षः सामोत्तरपक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरस पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Salutations to Parabrahma Tattva Shruti Mata, to all the Brahma Vidya Acharyas, Rishis, Munis, Gurus, Devatas, to Vedavyas Bhagavan, Vaishambhayana Bhagavan, Yajnavalkya Bhagavan, and our Bhashyakara Adi Shankara Bhagavan, and all our Gurus who have guided us, are guiding us, and will guide us. We need these four things. One is clear understanding of the Upanishadic mantras, the purport or meaning in them. Second is the desire to do sadhana at every other cost, at the cost of everything else. Third one is continuously doing sadhana. Fourth, till we reach to the experience. All these at our level now, by our own capacities of mana and buddhi, we can't do, we will not be able to do. And hence the need of Guru and the Daiva Anugraha. that Guru and Devata through Smarana and Upasana and Prarthana, when they are invoked to enter into our Antakarana, then only with their divine Shakti and power that these four things will happen and not otherwise by our own mere capacities. All the four things of clearly understanding the purport of every mantra and bhashya also exhaustively, because they are very sublime, very deep things to which are talking about the truth and reality, and we are lost in the outer world of unreality taken as real. Our equipments also are not much tuned to that inner spirituality. They are only the external oriented. Therefore, by ourselves, per ourselves, we cannot. The only way is what? A special grace, special blessings of these gurus and Bhagavan, that which will give us that stamina or capacity to understand. That is how, in all the cases of all the Shastras taught, it was the Gurus who, with their own anugraha, made the disciples understand the subject thoroughly. What disciple has to do is tune to the Guru with bhakti and sharanagati. If that Guru is Shishya is full of bhakti and sharanagati, and that Guru or Bhagavan is pleased with him, they will see to it that his inner equipments are very soon made qualified for the journey of all these four steps or laps. First, we have to understand thoroughly what is meant by Upanishads and the Bhashya, in the sense of the goal and its glory, as well as the means and its details. So, only when we know that the goal is glorious, that we will be interested to follow that. If the goal is not enchanting, not inspiring, why should we go for it? We will not. Therefore, even to understand the clarity of the goal's clarity, as well as its mahima, itself is the biggest leap, because only then we will go for it. Why we go for the world now? Because about the world, the mahima is deeply rooted in us, that it is real, it is a giver of happiness and sukha, and it is so beautiful. As long as we don't give to this mana more beautiful, more enchanting thing than this world, the mana will not guide itself or direct it towards that or away from this. Therefore, to understand the glory of the Brahma Vidya and Moksha Anubhuti itself is a very great prayasa. Even that also comes to us by the grace of Guru and God. Even though that Moksha Anubhuti is so wonderful, still doesn't enter to us to sufficiently inspire without their grace. ईश्वर गुरु कृपा से तत्व का ज्ञान और तत्व ज्ञान का अनुभव का महिमा कि इट इज ट्रुथ, इट इज रियलिटी, इट इज इटर्नल, इट इज इनफाइनाइट, इट इज विदाउट एनी कंडीशनिंग, it is blissful, it is your own, nobody can take it away. Once you gain it, it doesn't go away from you. It is independent of any efforts, any upadhis. It is unconditional by any upadhis. That is the glory of this Brahmanubhuti and Atmanubhuti. Repeatedly, when we listen from the Guru, then only its Mahima gets registered in our heart. After that, only the desire to achieve it. If we look into our hearts right now, do we have that restless desire, burning desire for the truth? No. That's why all the 24 hours we are not doing sadhana, because for recognizing, realizing that self, of all the kala, all the places, one has to be only in the dhyana sadhana. If we are not doing, means our desire for the Brahma Tattva is not strong. It means about the glory of Parabrahma or Paramatma, we have not yet gained. So means what? Ishvara Guru Krupa is not fully there. Means what? Our upasanas are not fully completed. Therefore, start doing those upasanas, prarthanas, etc. to bless us with the Brahma Vidya. Then the second one is what? The same Guru Ishvara Krupa is the one which helps us in knowing the path towards that goal. What is the marga I have to travel in? What are the sadhanas, external sadhanas, internal I have to do, depending on the level and status of my personality today, which is also equally crucial. I have understood the goal, where to reach, but how to reach, if it is not clear, it's vague, then will I reach that? I will never reach. So as important, sacred is the glory of the goal to be reached, Brahma Vidya. So important, sacred also are these means to be understood. The role of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dharma Vyavahara, values in the world, Viveka Vairagya Adi. Each of these things have to be understood and they are required very much. You and I, as a Baddha Jiva, we have to travel in that marga to reach to the Mukta Anubhava. Again, close your eyes and see. Are we clear about what exactly are the sadhanas to reach to that? अब साध्य ही क्लियर नहीं था, अब इसका कहाँ क्लैरिटी होगा? That means what? We are not blessed again, therefore, by the Bhagavan and Guru. That means what? Our upasanas are not sufficient enough to invoke their blessings, to understand the means also. Some people know the goal but not the clarity of the means. So therefore, what's now to be done? Intensify the upasana to the Ishtadeva, the Guru Parampara, the Guru Tattva, so much that they give us the clarity of the sadhana. And always sadhana is simple. Viveka Vairagyadi Shamadhi Shatka Sampada, Nirantara Shravana Manana Nididhyasanadi. But the clarity of each of these steps and the conviction and the desire to follow, that zeal, that zest inside us, without which we won't put even one step in spiritual path and never leave the worldly path of bondage. Therefore, for this second aspect also, we need the kripa. Otherwise, many people attend the satsanga and never understand the truth. Some of them understand and attend and understand the truth, but not sufficiently inspired to walk on this genuine, beautiful path. So that sort of required adjustment is required inside. It is given again to us by the Guru Parampara Kripa as well as Bhagavad Kripa. Yasya Deve Para Bhakti Yata Deve Tatha Guru Tasyite Katitahi Artaha Prakashante Mahatmanaha. Tasya Mahatmanaha Eva, only to such great devotee of having Para Bhakti to the Guru and the Bhagavan, that ete katitahi arthaha prakashante. All the meanings of the Shastras get revealed to the extent of inspiring to take up the path. So this is the second one. But third one is what? Continuously, relentlessly walking on the path without stopping or without getting diverted. Even that also, because when we start doing sadhana, that time the inner and outer maya, they come to attack us. We get lost. All energies are gone away. We get demoralized. How the Maya works when we are on the path? Either in the form of distractions toward the worldly bhoga with very, very powerful desires and all those things. Or it makes us demoralized because the goal is not reached. Or it is there or not. It creates a samshaya. मन में वो एक बार संशय हो गया या डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो गया, then we are gone away from the path, even though we traveled for some distance with the clarity of the goal. So there also continuously pursuing the path again is the then or the blessing of the Guru and Narayana Ishvara only. Therefore, for that only also we have to pray, hey Bhagavan, not only we need you to bless us with the clarity of the goal of Parabrahma and its glory, we also want you to bless us to know clearly the path to be followed. Not only the path to follow, O Lord, give us sufficient energies, abilities, convictions to walk this path without any distractions from outer things, without any inner weakening, demoralizing traits or thoughts. Until when? Till we touch the experience, and repeatedly reach to that experience, finally establish there itself. Even to establish in that also, we need Ishvara Kripa and Guru Kripa. They alone can again, with their variety of words or the anugrahas, can make us establish an Aham Brahmasmi Mukti Anumuti. So therefore, let us walk the path by doing what we can do. But same time, at every step, unless Krupa comes, it cannot be. The movement cannot be. Therefore, we have to keep requesting them to pray more intensely with that idea that yes, I have come to the path. Let me not go away from this path without experiencing the truth, which is very essential. If that thought is not there, then we take it lightly. ठीक है, बाद में करेंगे. किसके बाद में सर? ये थोड़ा वर्ल्डली व्यवहार के बाद में. How many minutes, sir? Nothing much, only some 10,000 lives. That type of procrastination, postponement, if we are not keen by ourselves, let this truth be experienced by me. So that desire of ours should make invoke the grace of the Lord and the Guru, who make clarity, who give the clarity and empowerment for all these four steps. शास्त्र का समग्र रूप से सम्यक ज्ञानम, in that lakshya as well as margam. Second, third one is one continuous, relentless walking on the path, which is never at all easy without because of upadhis and their prarabdhas. अब क्या बताया, we are going through that. Our own life is an open book to know how many difficulties are there in the sadhana. The biggest difficulty in Adhyatma sadhana is not having interest at all to do sadhana or reach. Is it not? We all go through that after the class, before the class, even during the class. What is the level of inspiration, level of intensity in us in this pursuit? If we can understand or try to think about, then we know what we said is the truth. So then, till the last moment, again, establishing that anubhava also, not only this beginning, but till we reach to the touch to that also, obstructions will come, variety of the things. Again, it is they who from one or the other way come and keep the level of inspiration intact in us. In this way, Nirantara Guru Bhagavad Smarana only for the moksha establishment. The one who goes on doing. Those prarthanas and upasanas, when they are received by the devatas, means they should receive with that attitude, with that fervor when we do. And then when they become kind and compassionate, then they enter into our personality layers. And then they take charge of this sadhana. Right now, the kami, bhogi, jiva is there in all the upadhis. Even though he only is struggling little for Adhyatmikata, but his upadhis, his obligation to the upadhis, identity with the upadhi, he means that jiva in me. And his expectation through the upadhi of the bhoga are so much predominant or overpowering that the required amount of inspiration or importance to be given to the sadhana is not. Therefore, through the invocation of the Bhagavan and Guru into us again and again, Hey Bhagavan Vyasa, enter into us. See to that the Vedanta is studied. Hey Bhagavan Adi Shankara, enter into our Antakarana. See to it that the Bhashya is understood. Hey Atharvana Rishi, Hey Angirasa Rishi, or Hey our Vaishampayana Rishi, Yajnavalkya Rishi, enter into us. Please make this Shastra understandable by us. In this way, we have to keep on praying. Then only in their Kripa, these things are slowly revealed to us, because to say in words it is simple, but to really see in life the power of mind, the power of asana, the power of habits, the power of maya, the power of the earlier experiences, and the taste for the world is so powerful, and each of them are like a ferocious lions with so much of strength, pounds upon the sadhakas to eat him away only. In all the samsarins, 100% samsarins, the sadhaka in them is eaten away by the lion of this maya of one or the other sorts. You and I are pura not eaten away, but not given freedom also. Only this much I allow, the Maya says. Go to class, that's it. More than that, don't expect to do anything spiritual. Even in the class, only 2 minutes, 3 minutes listen. Remaining time you sleep. That's what the Maya acting on us continuously. Even at home, never dare touch the book till the next class. Ah, Maya only is saying that. And we obey it. Okay. कल तक किताब इवन जो किताब ली लोगे ना तो एक पैरा से ज्यादा नहीं पढ़ना. Who is telling all that? That powerful Maya only telling us not to do anything. For others, eternally the Maya कब्जा कर चुका है उस जीव को. In your and our case, even though we come to the class, little understand. After that also, only the Maya is having sway on us. That's how the Kama Vikara we go for that. The Lobha Vikara we go for that. Then the other Anubhuti for which we go for them. Everything other than Bhagavan we do. And we are in such a power of Maya's delusion that we don't know that we are in delusion by being in the world as worldly. We have to be 24 ghante spiritual, which is a necessary condition for avoiding the world and entering into Paramatma Anubhuti. Like Gurudev, how long he is in worldliness and how long he is in spirituality? Wrong question. He is never in the worldliness, he is always in the self. That has to be achieved by us. But do we think this Maya allows us? Again, it will pull us. So, may all this be day by day understood, and we can know that though we come to class and study, it is not at all easy. The listening, the understanding, the inspiration, the sadhana. But it is not impossible. Also, it is a necessary if we want the moksha. If you don't want the moksha, you want to struggle with the upadhis in the world as a he, then you continue. Means in this व्यक्ति, the viveka and vairagya sufficient nahi हुए हैं. Vairagya tells both the meanness of the worldly pursuits and experiences and also the glory of Paramatma. So this person is not endowed with these things. Therefore, he says, "Koi nahi, no class, no satsang, no meditation. The worldliness alone is sufficient for me." If you and I consider that we are little better than that status and little evolved in us, that chingari of wanting to know the truth should be clearly felt. And that has to be made as big configuration by more and more study, more and more understanding of the glory of the truth, same time devaluing the worldly involvement by all the means of Pratipaksha Bhavana as well as Dosha Drushti. Even all these active, dynamic, conscious, intellectual efforts also can be done only when the Guru enters me, the Guru Parampara enters me, the Lord enters me through my upasanas followed by the prayers for this work. Don't leave it to Guru and God thinking that they will come taking their own initiative and interest to inspire us. Remember the case of Arjuna. Throughout life he was with Lord. He was never interested in Jnanam. Bhagavan also never took initiative to give him. He never gives because he never asks. But in the Yuddha Kshetra, when he asked, Ki, you teach me, Shishyasteham Sadimam, Bhagavan said, when you desire, even if it is Yuddha Kshetra, even if I am a driver, still I will teach you Gita or the knowledge. If you are not so, I will give you every other love, every other facility, every other protection. How many times Krishna protected directly, indirectly the Pandavas, right from childhood, from the time the Pandu died. So protection he gave, nourishment he gave, sustenance, love, loving relationship he gave, but not jnanam which gives moksha. Until and at last, Arjuna asks it. So we cannot say कि Guru and God will be interested in our moksha. Nobody is interested. And why should they? It is you and I should consciously feel that we are bound. Then I should feel that I must get liberated from these limited upadita, atma jiva bhava of more and more dukkha, little sukha. After this, then okay, you want it, then this is the way we teach you. That's how their role starts. If we are not interested, even if they come and tell, it won't. Like today, you will see Sri Ram Bhagwan telling, we already saw. Hmm. Sri Lakshman ji ko batate na, those are not my devotees, not interested. Don't tell them because it's waste of your time. They're not interested. That's how the people don't respond to our messages or invitations for the classes. काय को हमको डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हो, तंग कर रहे हो? हम इधर खुश हैं. जब बहुत दुखी हो जाएंगे तब आएंगे आपके पास, वो भी दुख दूर करने के लिए, not for spirituality. This is called the power of Maya. It will put us in such a situation that we will never realize that we are lost in Maya. It's very, very terrible. And that's why you remember how much sukshmata of the buddhi is required to understand these things, and how much grace of Bhagavad Kripa and Guru Kripa required for gaining that sukshmati sukshma buddhi to clearly understand all the aspects which we said now and take the right decisions of spiritual sadhana with commitment continuously. So may we be that way blessed by the entire Rishi Guru Parampara and Bhagavan. Maybe it's not one sentence I said just now. All the time that mood should be there in the mind. The Guru and Bhagavan are in front of us. We are at their feet requesting with all the devotion. Let the truth be revealed to us. Let the experience come to us. Let the sadhana happen through us. Let the clarity be given to us of the Shastras. भक्त भी वही कहते हैं, दर्शन दो घन साहब. You will have to always beg for darshan until Bhagavan gives. An Artha Purusha always asks Lord, remove me from this Arti. So to a Kami, an Artha Purusharthi, a true Artha and Kama Purusharthi also should not be lazy. Through Upasana, he should go on asking the Lord. Then the Lord continuously supplies him Artha and Kama. But they being limited, they being binding us to the Jivadi, Bhava, Dehadi, therefore we should not ask for that. We should ask for moksha through jnana bhakti, but that also all the time we have to ask. Only 2-3 things. I told you, meditation or contemplation or the intense upasana and prayers or in the name of the Lord. There are only 4 things which should be there in our life. Meditation directly on the truth, contemplation, trying to understand what is said in the scriptures, then includes our satsang, etc., or the upasanas and prarthanas. If that not, Lord's name should go on happening in us. In these 4 ways, every moment of our life, we have to keep on spending. Now, having said, because we felt, because the texts which we are studying, all of them are Gambhira, need our attentiveness, need our subtlety to grasp them. If not, now again, to how many lives we postpone it, we don't know. So therefore, O Guru Parampara, O Guru Bhagavan, O Guru Tattva, please pull us away from everything else, put us only into these and make us qualified, not only to understand means and goal, but may we be blessed by you to follow till we reach and establish in the goal. This is what is our prarthana. Now, yesterday we were exhaustively seeing the Manomaya Kosha. The first 4 aspects of Manomaya Kosha are common. What are the 4 aspects? It is Anyaha, other than the Pranamaya. Second is Antaratma or Antaraha. It is inside the Manomaya, Pranamaya Kosha. It is inside the Pranamaya is the Mana. It is a bhavana to be done now. Thereafter, as we said 5 days back, if we remember, the entire process will be reversed. It is not that inside the Annamaya is there, Pranamaya. It is the other way around, that in the Pranamaya, the Annamaya. वो सब बाद में होंगे when we truly reach to the higher and higher koshas in our experience. But for the sake of intellectual understanding, conviction, to detach from these koshas, we talk of antara. And it is true also, like pranamaya kosha dharmas. What are they? Hunger and thirst. Now, where do we feel hunger and thirst when we feel? We don't feel hunger and thirst in the refrigerator or dining table or anywhere. We feel inside us only. That's how the Shruti Mata, taking that explanation, that experience, says that Pranamaya is inside the Annamaya. And all this is because of our too much preoccupied identification only with this Annamaya Kosha. Because of this reason, we feel that the prana is inside, therefore, we are guided by the Shrutimata also as if the prana is inside the Annamaya. Therefore, Anyaha, Antaraha, Atma, Pranamaya, Tenaisha, Purnaha. These four words were told. Same is with next, the Manomaya Kosha. It is inside Pranamaya. Here, the inside thing what you can understand is the Pranamaya is Jadatmaka. There is no Jnana aspect in that. The Jnana aspect starts from the Manomaya. And without the Manomaya, the Chaitanya, Jada cannot work. From that angle, we can say that inside the Prana, there is Manomaya. मन विज्ञान में ही जीव आदि होते हैं, किसी के लिए तो प्राण की जरूरत होती है ना. Otherwise, what is the need of the pranas for us also? For the jiva only it is, who is in Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, Manaha is Antaraha, Anyaha first, totally other than the Pranamaya. Antaraha is inside and Atma. दोनों मिलाकर बोलो अंतरात्मा. कौन है अंतरात्मा अन्नमय प्राणमय? कौन है अंतरात्मा प्राणमय मनोमय? This repeatedly we have to think about and then try to become aware of that state of Sankalpa Vikalpadi, which is called as Manomaya Kosha. Sankalpa Vikalpadhyatmakaha. Manomaya, all that we have seen yesterday. This is Antakaranam. Then, of this Manomaya Kosha, which is Anyaha to the Pranamaya, Antara to the Pranamaya, then Atma, even of the Pranamaya, Anyantara Atma, Anyaha Antara Atma, then Purnaha. Through the Manomaya, the Pranamaya is Purna. We have to do that contemplation. In that Purnata contemplation of the inner subtler koshas, in the outer grosser koshas, that outer grosser koshas are transcended, practically transcended in our identity. We are now at the grossest Annamaya identity. So when Pranamaya is Purna in the Annamaya and in that way I contemplate, then my Tadhyatmya, the Annamaya, along with its consequence experience of bondage, they start receding. So too the Manomaya is fully permeating in Pranamaya. In that Purnata of the Manomayatva in the Pranamaya, when we feel, then the Pranamaya Tadhyatmya we transcend. And at every level of any spiritual sadhana's evolution, there's always sense of fear of losing what we were there comfortable earlier, sense of insecurity. So these two things we have to keep always in mind because we are entering to subtler, unfamiliar zones. But they are authenticated with the Guru and the Shastra and also promised to us of highest bliss of the moksha. With that faith, we have to take those in steps to go to the higher koshas, leaving the grosser ones. Otherwise, that fear, the sense of fear of unknown, what will happen when I go to Pranamaya? Annamaya छूट जाएगा? और डर क्या करेगा? नहीं 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 अन्नमय में रह जाएंगे हम. This way we don't talk, but this is how we don't go for higher kosha tadatmya. But then, what is the only way for us? The higher kosha tadatmya is always greater than the lower one. Real than the lower one. Giver of more freedom than the lower or the outer kosha. This entertainment, this thought entertainment we have to have. Then only we can go for others. That is the purpose of saying Anyaha, Antaraha, Atma, Purnaha. In this, both are given. You are not knowing this inner kosha, but it is there, and it is more important Atma than the outer with which you are identified so far. You are in a delusion, thinking that Annamaya is you. No, you are Pranamaya. So too, you are in delusion, thinking that you are Pranamaya, actually you are Manomaya. In this way, again and again, Panchakosha Vivek, if done with all the fervor and enthusiasm all through the day, we can really transcend in our understanding identity from grosser to the subtler. Then to this Manomaya Kosha also, which is Purusha Vidaha, like a Titri bird, has got the five limbs of Shiraha, Dakshina Bhakshaha, Uttara Bhakshaha, Atma, Ucham. So yesterday we saw the Shiraha exhaustively. In that itself, Dakshina and Uttara Bhaksha also are included. Similar. And what are those five limbs of the Manomaya Kosha? Tasya Yajureva Shiraha, Rugdakshina Pakshaha, Samottara Pakshaha, then Adesha Atma, Maha Pucham Pradishta. Then even to authenticate this from the Yajurveda mantra, there is a quotation. Therefore, Tadapyesha Sloko Bhavate, quotation as well as authority. So before that, Tasya Yajureva Shiraha, Yajurveda. So for literal meaning of Yajurveda is that those mantras which are in prose order, which don't have the Niyata Akshara Pada Vasana. Then once the speciality of Yajurveda is explained, now Yajur, Ruk, Sama are all Vedas only. All are mantras only. All put together is Manomaya Kosha. Therefore, Manomaya Kosha is Vedamaya. But to be concentrating, to specifically meditate in the Pakshi Udaharana, we are given, depending on their importance, the positions of each Veda to each of the limba. Reason also given by the Bhashyakara. One reason is this one. What is Yajurveda explained. Thereafter, the Yajurveda is Pradhanyat. Because the prose is more pradhana in our vyavahara, even in the Vedic literature. Therefore, Shira Bhag usi ko milna chahiye. Then Ruk Dakshina Samottara are not so important to worry about. Shruti said, you just meditate. Vachani ki ba was the word we said. Vachani ki ba matlab Shruti ka vachan hai, ab kyun chinta karte ho? See, in many cases, when you have respect for parents or teachers, your other brother or sister when say पापा ने कहा, you will accept it. अब उसपे क्या सोचना है when Papa told, or the teacher ने कहा, what else to think? So to Shruti Mata ने कहा, no, do the upasana of the Manomaya Kosha, ध्यान करो Manomaya Kosha का, imagine करो, become conscious, aware of it with its limbs like a pakshi having these things. Now the crucial topic we started discussing yesterday about the relation between Manomaya Kosha and Vedas and Parabrahma Paramatma. So there Parabrahma Paramatma is beyond everything, is Atita. Okay. Then the Veda mantras are the Parabrahma Paramatma only, be attentive, expressed through the Manomaya Kosha, through these steps which we have seen yesterday exhaustively. What are the things of ki sthana, prayatna, nada, swara, varna, pada, vakya, vishaya. These are the steps through which Parabrahma Paramatma in the Manomaya Kosha or through the Manomaya Kosha is expressing as the mantras of all the Vedas. Be conscious about it. Therefore, what are all the mantras and Vedas? Nothing but Paramatma only expressed through the Manomaya Kosha. They are not human created. That is why these mantras are, Vedas are eternal as the Parabrahma Paramatma. Therefore, they are called Apaurusheya. For the communication from one person to the other, the words are required, and that words are to be created. For the creation of the words, the Manomaya Kosha is made as an instrument. That's the most crucial thing we have to understand today, after which the importance or divinity of the Veda mantras we recognize. Then through daily Veda mantra ucharana, we are always directly in touch with Brahma Tattva. Only we have to believe that's it. So when we said yesterday, Om Namo Vacheya Chodhita Yacha Anudita. What is this mantra? It is not like talking to others that yesterday I went to that place, then I seen it, it is so good, I felt like staying there, but I had to come back, then somehow it came. These are all our smrutis. These are all the experiences at the gross Thula level, Upadhi, but not the Veda mantras like this. Veda mantras, whenever we are doing Ucharana, at that time only, the Parabrahma only allowed through the mana to express as this Veda mantra. Because all these sequences which are happening cannot happen without the consciousness behind. Our consciousness only through the medium of the mind and mouth is expressing as the Veda mantras. Otherwise, mana and mouth or speaking organ, both are jada only. Without his presence, so they can't even work. So, manasahi of the mind only are sthana, the place, kantasthana, prayatna, that the bringing the energy to create the word, then nada, then in what tune we have to chant. That nada includes various languages, etc. In Veda, it is nada or the initial sound, the undifferentiated sound into different words. So that's called nada. Always there is sukshma manonada is going on, that disturbed by vasanas perceptions are the manasika vrittis. So too, always the vayu nada is going on inside and outside. To that, through the tongue wagging, we give different words or the languages. So before the word or language expressed, that continuous sound aspect coming because of the inhaling and exhaling in subtle form is called a nada. Then the swara, which is swara, udata, anudata, adi. Varna, we have seen all the varna mean both alphabets of vowels and consonants. When they come together, padas are made. When the padas come together, vakya can never be without its vishayo, the knowledge to be conveyed. Tat sankalpatmika. See, मन का ही कारण ये सब हो रहा है, तत्संकल्पात्मिका तद्भाविता वृत्ति. We have seen yesterday, it is the sankalpa, it is a bhavana in the mana, in the form of that vritti of that sound coming out of the mouth, shrotradi karana dwara, through the shrotradi into the others also is communicated. Therefore, yaju sanketa vishishta, yaju hidi uchyate. Therefore, the redefining the yajur mantras. Earlier, that mantra which is aniyata padavasana is yaju, we said. Here is what? The Parabrahma only expressing through the mind in these so many stages is called a yajur mantras. मंत्र के द्वारा भगवान मिलना नहीं होता, मंत्र ही भगवान है. निरंतर मंत्र उच्चारण करें तो दैट टेक्स अस टू इन योग भाषा द वृत्ति निरोध and in the Vedanta Bhasha into that Shuddha Sakshi Bhava and gives us experience. Thereafter, the mantra Adhisthana Devata, and behind the Adhisthana Devata Parabrahma, it is me. That sort of experience the mantra takes to the mantrocharana. That's why in our Indian tradition, Veda mantrocharana is inevitable practice, especially for the first three, the Varnas. Evam Samacha Evam. Even the Rig Veda, Sama Veda also are in the same way. The Vedas, any one of them, are not to be taken as the manipulations of the words or the just thoughts of the vrittis or the chitta. No, they are direct expression of the Parabrahma only. This clarity we should have. And now he says, so evam cha manovruttitve mantraanam vrutti eva avartyate iti manasah japa upapadyate. Is it not? It is the Vedas which are there in the heart, taking the shape of vritti in the mind, that we are able to do the avartana of the mantra called as japa. Means what? Every time when I am doing the japa, a vritti is formed in the mana, and the formation of the vritti in the mana, repeatedly called as japa, is because of the presence of the conscious Paramatma there. If the Paramatma is not there, then the mana won't get modified into that particular Veda mantra japa. And every time it is fresh. Every time when I chant Veda mantra, every time Paramatma through the mana taking this vritti shape. It is not the old rotten or the stale wala. Every time it is fresh. But because we are in the extroverted worldly thoughts, to divide, to avoid, or to detach ourselves from the outer thoughts, vocally we are told to do the mantra chanting. After one, slowly the japa mantra should be done in the mind only, of the Veda mantras also. Thereafter, even that Shabdata slowly we transcend. And when the Shabda is transcended, the Vritti also is transcended. When the Vritti is transcended, that Paramatma who through Vritti and through Shabda was expressing as outer grosser sound level of Veda mantra is realized. That is Paramatma. Veda mantra ही परमात्मा. उसका बाह्य उच्चारण से बाह्य डिस्ट्रैक्शन चले जाते हैं, मानसिक उच्चारण से मन के अशांतियां चले जाते हैं. देन उस उच्चारित शब्द पे ध्यान देने से शब्द और वृत्ति इट गोज अवे. व्हाट रिमेन्स इज द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ द सेल्फ. देन वी नो द सेल्फ अलोन थ्रू द मन एज द मनोवृत्ति, थ्रू द माउथ एज द शब्द is expressing as the Veda mantras. That's how Veda and Paramatma are not two. They are Apurusheya. Paramatma only expressed in that form. Veda mantra only. Not the Shruti, Purana, Itihasa. They're all the vrittis only. Not the consciousness expressing through vritti, but they are vritti only. Supported by consciousness. Nor even our Laukika Vyavaharika discussions. But mainly the Veda mantras are Sakshat Brahma Swarupa, expressing through vritti and Shabda, through the mind and speech. So, evam cha manovruttitve mantranam vrutti eva avartyate. Then the relation between manovruttitva and mantra avartanam. The repetition of the mantra, formation of the vritti in the mind. Iti manasa japa upadhyate. That's how the manaha japa is achieved, and we have to reach to the japa to the mana level. Japa is not sadhana of the mouth. In the beginning, because of too much extrovertedness we have, vocally we chant. Otherwise, it's in fact all spiritual sadhanas are of the mind only. Because entire samsara is in the mind, avidya is in the mind, therefore jnana is to be gained in the mind, then the mukti is also at the level of mind, first by freedom from all the ignorance, thereafter the mind only we get freed from. That is final mukti. So he says, anyatha. Otherwise, if the mantra is not in the mind only, if it is not the capacity of the mind as blessed by the Lord, if it is something other than the mind mantra, then what will happen? Anyata vishayatvat. Then it is out of my mind, not in the mind. Then na avartaitum shakyaha. It cannot be. Means what? The Veda mantra, Veda Paramatma, if is not there behind or in the mind, and if it is outside the mind, not in the mind, like where is the pot? Pot is outside the mind. Gata, Divata, it example is given. So because it's outside the mind, it is not inside the mind. Therefore, you can never do the avartana of the japa. The meaning that we are able to do the avartana of the Veda mantras shows that those Veda mantras are inside the mind. A step higher is what? Through the mind they are expressed. As the Pruti, the subtle level, Shabda through the mouth at the grosser level. Therefore, that is why the whole topic is what? Why the Manomaya is made as Vedamaya. ये वेदों का ये जो शरीर भाग के रूप में क्यों दिया मनोमय के लिए? This is the whole discussion is going on. And which mana? Again I am repeating, not the mana which we have now, are fully misused in the form of every vritti pravritti of the worldliness. We are talking about the mind per se. We are talking about Annamaya per se. We never talked about male or female or human or animal. So too we were talking about the Pranamaya per se. Not even the Lakshanas of Pranamaya, hunger and thirst. Not even after that, how much food each one eats, what type of food eats. ये सब बाद में manipulation हुआ. We are talking about in pure creation में how the Pancha Koshas are made. हम उसी को समझ रहे हैं. We are not worried about how these upadhis are used or misused or abused or bound. First, we are analyzing each kosha by itself. So, prana shira, then vyana dakshina, apana uttara, then adesha or samana is atma. Akasha atma, prithvi pucham wala, ye pranamaya kosh, as it is was it is. Right now, again the manomaya kosha also, the pure manomaya we are talking. Not the manomaya influenced by the vasanas, nor the manomaya influenced by the senses, nor the manomaya tempted by the objects, not the manomaya through all this, which has become habitually worldly. About that familiar mind we are not talking. We are talking mind per se. Actually the mind ये होता है. Manomaya kosha. The pure manomaya kosha is the instrument of Parabrahma, Paramatma, to express himself in the form of mantras. उतना sacredness है मन का. That is why when from the mana the habitual way of worldliness is totally dropped, that mana alone is experienced by us as Paramatma and Parabrahma. Because the whole Manomaya is Vedamaya, Veda is Paramatma Maya. Is there any doubt in that? So here we see Anyatha Avishayatvat mantra na avartayitum shakyah ghataadivat iti manasah japaha na upavadyate. Like you close eyes and chant Om Bhurbo Swa Tatsaviduvarenyam. If that japa mantra is in the book, not in the mind, then you can never chant it in the mind. It will remain only in the book. Book and the words in the book are only reflections and reminders. Otherwise, the japa is happening in the mana only. Because of the mana. Otherwise, manas japa na upapadyate, by saying so what said is, japa should be done only at the mana level, not the vocal level. And japa is only of the Veda mantras. And the Veda mantra japa is directly in contact with the Parabrahma Paramatma only. So mantra avurti cha chodyate bahushaha karmasu. That's why in all the karma kanda adi, the avrutti, the repetition of the mantras again and again taught as the japa. And that is expression of Paramatma at the mind level. Now he asks a question. Why there is a means or the reason to say that the mantras can be outer the mind, not inside the mind from the self. What he says, कि अक्षर विषय स्मृत्या वृत्त्या अक्षर विषय स्मृति आवृत्त्या मंत्र आवृत्ति स्यादिति चेत. Like just now we said, be attentive. Very powerful thought, very important. It is the aksharas. The akshara together became pada. Padas together became vakya. And we have the smriti of that in that, our mind. And that smriti is being chanted at the mind level as an avrutti. Therefore, it is outside the mind if we say that smrtya avrutya mantra avruti syadit chet, not the Paramatma. He said no. As we said yesterday, remembering the mantra is different. Chanting the mantra is different. If you can catch the difference between these two, what Bhagavan Shankara is trying to explain, to some extent we can understand. So what it said, whenever we do the yajna, यार आ मंत्र को याद करो, ऐसे बोलते हैं क्या? याद करो नहीं बोलते, chant करो बोलते हैं. Is it not? Therefore, smriti never helps or required. Chanting is required. And every time when we chant the mantra, the chanting of the mantra at the mind level is nothing but the expression of the Shruti Mata, the Veda only. Memory nahi. Memory is not used, chanting is used. At the time of chanting, directly Paramatma only is expressed. Because all Vedas are, Veda Prakriyas are not done by the Smriti. Here, what is the differentiation being done? The Veda mantras are not the Smritis. Veda mantras are direct Paramatma only. It's not the memory of the mind, the Veda mantra. Paramatma only expressing. What is the memory is the aksharas, maybe, padas, as you said. But akshara pada is not the purpose there. Ucharana. Ucharana जब हो रहा है वो उच्चारण हो रहा है. That time what is expressing is Paramatma only. And that is why chanting को वहाँ कहते हैं, स्मरण को नहीं. It is never said, acha, you have, like, all the smarana of the upasana along with mantras. हो गया क्या? उससे पूजा हो गया क्या? We have to do it only practically. We have to do the ucharana of that. At that time, what expresses is Paramatma. Therefore, the Vedas are not Smriti. Vedas are direct Paramatma expression in the mind, as the mantras. Veda mantras. So, mantras are Paramatma only. Mantra together is called Veda. Now he says, Mukhya Artha Sambhavat, Asambhavat. See, this is what we have seen in the authority just now. He said, why it is said in all the Yajna Yaga. Some example he is giving about this Yajna Yaga, all the prakriyas in that. Never we discussed and we will never discuss because we don't know. I am not into that. It's a very high, difficult ideas or topics which can be gained by only those oriented people. है ना, लाइक उपासना करना एक ओरिएंटेशन ऑफ माइंड, जपा एक ओरिएंटेशन, वेदांत अध्ययनम एक ओरिएंटेशन, बट डूइंग द यज्ञ आघात इज अ टिपिकल थिंग. देयर यू हैव टू रिमेंबर umpteen number of things. At right time each one have to be done. If at all anything very difficult in life is the यज्ञ यागों को करना ही very tough. Right time पे मंत्रोच्चारण, right swara you have to do. At the moment in that way the swara के साथ किया, that time only the devata invoked in the yajna comes and opens the mouth and swaha कहते ही at that time ahuti all to be done. Little here and there also the devata becomes angry. That much alertness, awareness in the yajna we have to have. It has big deals of details. People nowadays, they are habitual to compromising with everything, diluting everything. Therefore, they also dilute all the yajna prakriya. But we are talking about the Vedic way of yajna prakriya. It's very, very complicated and difficult and tough. You and I have never study also in this life. We only are busy in our Vedantic Adhyayana. So the examples are given of the pure Vedic yajnas. Therefore, to just browse through that, we are saying it. What is said here? कि त्रिप्रथमाम अनु आहा, पहले तीन बोलो, त्रिरुत्तमाम इति, रुग आवृत्ति श्रूयते. Then that Brahma tells the Udgata, why before that you do the three things, and three is over, no hota, no offer the swaha, हो गया, again now Udgata chant three more times, and then again afterwards. This is how the supervisor guides and the others too. 5-6 बार करने के बाद वो Brahma will be there only to be witness. Then the Udgata keeps chanting before and after. In between the time of Ahuti, the Hota does the Havanam, Swahakar. So the point why this example is brought here, if it is only Smriti, why will Brahma say, by chant karo muh se? Because in the chanting only the Brahma Tattva is invoked, Paramatma. And through the yajna, whom invoking is the Devata who is expression of Parabrahma only for our particular benefits. So, Tatra Ruchaha Avishayatve Tad Vishaya Smriti Avrutya Mantra Avruttaucha Kriyamananam Tripratamam Anuaha Iti Rugavrittihi Mukhya Arthitaha Choditaha Paritaktaha Syatu. That is the whole thing. If ऋग्वेदादि mantras are only the वृत्ति, then 3 बार पढ़ो, 6 बार पढ़ो, 5 बार पढ़ो, ये आवर्तन का चोदनम जो श्रुति ने किया वो परित्यक्त हो जाता है, मीनिंगलेस हो जाता है. हो गया. Now comes the most powerful sentence from Bhagavan Adi Shankara. This one will have to be caught by us. We will try to explain and understand it. The relation between the mana, Veda mantras and Parabrahma. Veda mantra है, Parabrahma के expression है through the mana. Therefore, at the mana level, when we go on doing Veda mantrocharana, that effort will take us away from the worldliness and towards Paramatma. And the same manner, when Veda mantra is not uttered, all the smrutis are used, perceptions are used, that mana not capable of allowing us to understand Veda Purusha, reach the Veda Purusha, means Atma Purusha or Brahma Purusha. See the sentence, powerful shloka. Tasmad, therefore, be careful. Mano vritti upadhi parichinnam. Mana, we are aware. Manaka vritti. The vritti of the mana has become upadhi. And every upadhi does the parichedanam of the thing which is expressing through it. So, what is Parabrahma, what is Veda is explained. First, Mano vritti upadhi parichinnam. मन का वृत्ति ही उपाधि हुआ, उसके कारण परिच्छिन्न हुआ. देन मनोवृत्ति निष्ठम, which is substratum support for the manovritti. See the difference between these two. Difficult to catch, but if you put effort, you can understand. Manovritti parichinnam, because it is expressing through the mana is vrityatmaka, therefore manovritti se parichinn ho gaya. But for the mana to exist, manovritti to exist, which is the cause again? That Parabrahma only. Therefore, simultaneously is the substratum for the manovritti called as manovritti nishtam, and again conditioned by the manovritti parichinnam. Therefore, Parabrahma only as a substratum to the mana is existing, and through the manovritti paricheda, as the mantra also he alone is expressing. So, manovritti upadhi parichinnam, manovritti nishtam, third one, atma chaitanyam, the pure conscious self, which is anadi nidhanam, which is beginningless and endless. आदि जिसका नहीं है, निधन जिसका नहीं है, यजुः शब्दवाच्यम, which is named by the Yajuhu. Atma Vijnanam, the pure self only, mantraha iti, are expressing as mantras. So the name is given as Yajuhu. In that named Yaju, what are there are mantras. These mantras nothing but the Atma Vijnanam only, which itself is parichinna through the manovritti and expressing as the shabdas, but also substratum of the manovrittis, because mano usi ke karan hai, manovritti nishtam. Manovritti nishtam means the adhara for the manovritti. What we are talking here, don't get confused. Mana, it's present state of our life of kama krodhadi vikara, that is not discussed. Mana as such is discussed. Mana has got itself in vrittis. And now the topic of the Veda mantras are brought, because the Manomaya Kosha is compared with Vedamaya Purusha or Vedas, all the limbs of Manomaya. इस aspect को हम बता रहे हैं कि why the mana is Vedamaya. Mana is Vedamaya because मन का वृत्तियों से परिच्छिन्न होकर मन के निष्ठा में रहकर, मनोवृत्ति के निश्चित होकर मन का जो आधार हो रहा है वही परमात्मा. लिसन, वही that Paramatma alone is expressing as mantra, which we are naming as the Yajur mantras. Paramatma, which is supporting the manovritti. So Paramatma, which is conditioned by manovritti, is expressed as the Yajur mantra, the pure maname. The polluted mana has all these smrutis, all the other perceptions, all other, gulami to the senses. That's all there. But the originally, purely uncontaminated, the presence of the mind is only to express Veda mantra as Param Purusha, Paramatma as Veda mantras. परमात्मा को वेद मंत्रों के रूप में व्यक्त करने के लिए ही मनोमय कोश है एक्चुअली. Other things which we do are our own manipulations out of avidya, we suffer the consequence. So tasmat manovritti upadi parichinnam, manovritti nishtam, atma chaitanyam, anadi nidhanam, yaju shabda vachyam iti. Now the next point is evam cha nityatva upapatti vedanam. If it is a smriti of the mana, then the man smriti chala jata hai, तो वेद भी चला जाएगा. So why the nityatvam of the Vedas is because of this. Vedas are always eternally there. As Paramatma say, ek hokar. But those Veda mantras only through the mana express as mantras. Sorry, the Veda Purusha Paramatma only through the mana expressing as the mantras. Therefore, मंत्र शब्द रूप के लुप्त हो सकते होंगे, मंत्र मनोवृत्ति के रूप में लुप्त हो सकते होंगे, but as a Paramatma, they are in the Bija Rupa always there. But when they have to take the shape of the Shabda, before that they have to take the shape of the Vritti, there comes the utilization of the mind. That is for communication. Vrittiyatmakta Paramatma, Shabdatmakta of the Paramatma is for the communication sake between the Guru and disciple. Guru is always in Atmanubhava, which doesn't require the Vritti of the Mana, Shabda of the mouth. But the Guru will have to convey to the disciple. So for the sake of that, the instrument of the mouth and mind is given. The mouth and mind are those organs where the Parabrahma Paramatma expresses as the Vritti and Shabda, which is called as the mantra, which forms the bulk of the Vedas. वेद क्या है? शब्द रूप. किसके? मनोवृत्ति के. किसके? परब्रह्म के. So, can the manovritti exist without Veda? No. Can the Shabda exist without Veda? No. Can the Veda exist without the vritti of the mana and Shabda of the mouth? Yes. Thus, the Veda or the Paramatma is, in that sense, is eternal. His only difference is expresses as the thought or not, depending on the availability of the mind. Expresses as the sound or not, depending on our utilization of the mouth. Otherwise, Veda Purusha, Vedas are eternal. Vedas and Paramatma are not two. And all that is why discussion, because the Manomaya Kosha is nothing but Vedamaya. That is why Evamcha Nityatva Upapati Vedanam. Anyatha, otherwise, Vishayatve Rupadivatu. If the Veda becomes an object, not the subject of the mind, subject of the vritti. If it is only object of the mind like any other thing, then the Veda becomes like any object is anitya. वो अनित्य हो जाता है. It is not the subject of the mind like the other objects which are subjects to the mind, but it is that because of which even the mind and mind vrittis are expressing. That is why anyatha vishayatve rupadivat anityatvam cha syat. Na etad yuktam, nobody, no rishi muni, no shastra upanishad accepts that. That Vedas are anitya, they are the Vishya of the Mana. They are the Nitya, they are behind the Mana, expressing as Shabdas. Dekho, there is one thing, Parabrahma and Veda, which are synonymous. Second, dichotomization, differentiation, wherein the Vedas indicating Paramatma. Now, at this level, the Parabrahma Paramatma only became Vritti at the mind level, Shabda at the mouth level, to communicate to the listener by the Guru. So, just because we are uttering the Veda mantra with the mouth, just because in the mana, the Vritti of the Veda, and don't take that the Vedas are the subjects of the mouth or the mind. Any subject of the mouth or mind are always perishable. Subject means objects. Object of the mouth called sound, like I said just now. I said just now. वो sound लुप्त हो गया. And the thought which brought this sound also got lupta. But does the Paramatma become lupta there? No. Even in the mind, when it goes to Nidra Avastha, still Paramatma is there. Through Vritti Nirodha, when you can transcend the Mana, still Paramatma is there. Therefore, Paramatma is not Shabda. Therefore, Vedas are not Shabda. Vedas is Parabrahma only. Vedas are Parabrahma through the mana as a vritti, through the Shabda, through the mouth as a Shabda, they are expressing. That is what he says. Na etad yuktam. See, the quotations are given. Sarve Vedaha yatra ekam bhavanti sa manasina atma. That place where all the Vedas become undifferentiatedly one. That is called as Manasina Atma. That is the Mano Rupa Atma. We are talking about pure mana, not the Vyavaharik mana, Laukik mana, perceiving mana. ये सब की बात हम नहीं कह रहे, प्योर mana. So all the Vedas which are differentiated in their Shabda, all of them, before their differentiation, where are they at homogeneously one level? In the mana only. And mana is Kona, Paramatma he expressing as the Vrittis. That is what, see, Sarve Vedaha yatra ekam bhavanti saha manasina atma iti cha Shrutihi. इति च श्रुतिः नित्य आत्मना एकत्वं भवति युगा रुगादीनां नित्यत्वे समंजसा देयरफॉर स्यात्. द सेंटेंस क्या है? द कोटेड श्लोका कि ऑल द वेदास बिकम वन विद द मनो आत्मा. मनो आत्मा मीन्स आत्मा और परमात्मा परब्रह्म expressing the manovrutti for the expression of the Vedas for the sake of posterity communication, because we are at that level. वी आर नॉट इन द डायरेक्ट लेवल ऑफ आत्मानुभूति. आत्मानुभूति में है तो हमको खुद का ही मन नहीं चाहिए. वाई डू वी नीड द मन ऑफ द गुरु इन टू विच द गुरु ब्रिंग्स हिज एक्सपीरियंस एंड कम्युनिकेट्स टू अस. मैं ऑलरेडी आत्मानुभव में हूं, मुझे ही मेरे मन का या शब्दों का जरूरत नहीं है, मन के वृत्तियों का. बट टुडे आई एम लिविंग इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ वृत्तिस एंड स्पीचेस. In that way only the communication of the truth has to be done. Therefore, for the sake of that, the truth or the self has come down into the level of vritti of the mana, in the level of the shabda of the mouth. That is called Veda. For the sake of communication. Therefore, Rugadi are not like the objects of the mind, other objects. No, Rugadi are the Atma of the Mano, expressed through the Mano as the Vedas. Keep that in mind. In the same way, एकत्वं ब्रुवति रुगादीनां नित्यत्वे समंजसा स्यात्. Another place, see, रुचो अक्षरे परमे व्योम्नि अस्मिन् देवाः अधिविश्वे निषेधुः. So ruchaha, all the Vedas, akshare in that imperishable, parame that supreme, vyomni in the mana, chitakasha, vyomni अस्मिन् देवाः, all the faculties, adhi vishve nisheduhu, go and reside there on. Again I am chanting ruchaha adhi vishve nisheduhu. They go and establish in that. Where akshare parame vyomni, in that akshara parama vyoma, which is in the Parama Vyoma is the Chidakasha, in the mind. Mind is the Chidakasha completely. Mind means Manomaya Kosha. Usme जाकर बस जाते हैं. So this is what all the Ruchaha Devaha also, they are there inside. That Parama Vyoma, which is Parabrahma inexplicable at its level, but expresses as Mana. Even that is why Upasana of the Devata also are done in the Mana. So Manasika Devata Upasana is real Upasana, not in the idol. In the idol we are trained to do because we believe only in the idol type of substantial thing. But if our Upasana from doing to the idol into the mind, if it doesn't change, shift, we are really not the Upasakas of Bhagavan, nor we get the higher benefits from that Paramatma. There was the Saguna Paramatma's Upasana to be done in the mind, Nirguna Brahma's Dhyana through the Mantrocharana also to be done in the mind. Then what will happen? That mind which is expression of Paramatma only as the Vrittis reveals Paramatma and it goes away. Finally, मन को वहाँ रहने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो चली जाती. So all said and done, the point is what? The Veda mantras are eternal, like they are Paramatma से एक ही है. Don't think they must be mere shabdas or the smritis of the mana. The pure mana is Vedamaya. For that, the Rug is Yajureva Shiraha. So in this way, Shvetashvatara Upanishad mantra also quoted, we chanted just now, Rucho Akshare Parame Vyomni Asmin Devaha Adi Vishve Nishedu Hitya Mantra Varnaha. Yajurveda mantras are told, and it is a Shiro Bhaga because of Pradhanyata. Once the Shiro Bhaga Pradhanyata Yajurveda is done, other two fellows will not quarrel now. So it is equally accepted. What is that? Tasya Yajurveda Rug Dakshina Pakshaha. Of that Panchi, the Rug Veda is the right hand. Manomaya Paksha. And Yajurveda also, like the Veda, all Vedas commonly said, Paramatma alone is Aparushaya, Aparushaya Paramatma alone is Veda. That alone expresses mantra through the mana. Where it is a prose order, it is called as Yajur. Where it is in poetry order, it is called as Sama and Rukka. Therefore, nothing more to question or discuss here. Only the thing to be discussed was Pradhanyata. Pradhanyata is explained, therefore, Yajuhu is Pradhana, it is made as head. Then the other two things, one that is that everything cannot be the head, then other limbs have to be told. Therefore, the Yajureva Shira होने के बाद रुक दक्षिण पक्ष हो गया, सामा उत्तर पक्ष हो गया. So that is specifically, detailedly not explained by Adi Shankara, but doesn't require. The explanation of all the Vedas is common, which is done. Only the placement of them. There was a negotiation. Why only Yajuhu should be the Shira, why not other? That was taken care. Okay, have a settlement in the regarding of these three Vedas to be the three parts of the Manomaya Pakshi. So Yajuhu Eva Shiraha Rukku Dakshina Paksha Samatra. Two more are there. The Atma Vestu as well as Pucham. So what is the Atma? Adeshaha Atra Brahmanam Ati Deshtavya Visheshan Ati Dishati Iti. So Adeshaha means what? Atra, what is the Adesha? Oh, sorry, Adesha Atma. Atma means the middle portion, the main portion. Like we have the Atma to the Annamaya, Ayameva Atma, it is said, Ayam Pucham Pratishtha. Then the Pranamaya Koshkale, Akasha Atma was told. Akasha we understood the Samana Vayu. So too, for the Manomaya Purusha, Manomaya Jiva, Adesha is the central portion, Atma. Why is it said so? What is Adesha? Adesha means so Brahmanam. It is a Brahmana portion of the Veda. What that Brahmana portion of Veda contains? It contains Atideshtavya Visheshan Atidishati Iti. Means that Brahmana portion's only job is to do the ordering of things to be done and not to be done. So the Kartavya Akartya Adesha is done by the Brahmanas. Therefore, the direct word is Adesha Atma. But Adesha are given by Brahmana. Therefore, the Vedonke Brahmana portion becomes the Adesha is equal to Atma of the Manomaya Purusha, Manomaya Paksha. That's a simple thing. So, Adeshaha Atra Brahmanam. Why Brahmanam? Adeshaha. A means Ati. Desha means Dishati. Adesha means Ati Dishati. Ati means Spashta Roop se. Dishati means guides. About what? Ati Deshtavya Visheshan. The specifications are specifically told or the things to be done are ordered. आदेश करता है इसलिए अतिदेश मतलब ब्राह्मण पोर्शन ऑफ वेदास आर कंटेनिंग आदेशास more and more. What is adesha means? Atidishati, which orders. What it orders? Kartavya, akartavya vishaya. So do's and don'ts is the adesha given by the Brahmana. Therefore, the Brahmana Rupi adesha is Atma, the central portion for the Manomaya Pakshi. Like we have the central portion. We already seen the central portion is set with the Atma of the legs and head. ऊपर का नीचे के लिए central portion is Atma. So we discussed that one. Now the last one is Atharva Tatha Atharvana Angirasacha Drushtaha Mantraha. So the Atharvana Rishi and Angirasha Rishi in their meditation seat, they have seen some mantras. And in those mantras, they are also part of the Brahmanam, Shantika, Paustika, Adi Pratishtha Hetu, Karma Pradhanatvatu. In these Brahmanas revealed to Atharva and Angirasa Rishi, those Yajnayagas are there as a result of doing which Shanti and Pushti ityadi come. Therefore, for the Manomaya Purusha, the Shanti and Pushti is required, and that is called as Pucham, and that is called the mantras which are revealed to Atharva and Angirasa Rishis. So, Atharva Rishi, Angirasa Rishi meditated, the mantras are revealed to them. Those mantras have the Yajnayaga. That Yajna done leads to Shanti Paustika, and Manomaya needs Shanti Paustika. Therefore, for the Manomaya Kosha, the Shanti Paustika giving yajna indicating mantras revealed to Atharva and Angira Rishi is called as Pucham. That's all. So the Adesha Atma, then Atharva Angirasa Pucham Pratishtha have the meaning like this. Atharva Angirasa Pratishtha. Then what is upper one? Adesha Atma. आदेश ब्राह्मण हो गया आत्मा अथर्वांगिरस ऋषि को रिवील हुआ मंत्र हो गए पुच्छम why आदेश is called atma because in that portion only the order is given what to do what not to do. Vedas are there but Vedas have the vidhi nisheda with that only what is to be done is done and the result is gained which is like atma like main central portion is atma to us. So to the Adesh has become Atma, Shiraha, Yajureva, Ruk Dakshina, Samottara हो गया. Then the Pucha Pratishtha is what? Here अथर्वांगिरस को रिवील हुआ मंत्र ही पुच्छ के समान है जिसमें यज्ञ कराने वाले ब्राह्मण है जिसको करने से शांति एंड पुष्टि हो जाता है. Then obviously the mind has to be शांत and पुष्ट युक्त. है ना? A quiet mind, a mind full of energy alone can do something in the world outside, also spiritual. That's why these Shanti Paustika mantras specifically revealed to Atharva Rishi have become the Pucha for the Manomaya Pakshi. Same thing for 4-3 minutes, we'll summarize tomorrow. Then to this Manomaya Kosha, what are the quotations of the Yajurveda mantras or Rigveda mantras that we will see tomorrow in the 4th Anuvaka. So with this explanation of the Pranamaya Kosha, introduction and explanation of the Manomaya Kosha, the 3rd Anuvaka is over. 4th Anuvaka will be giving the authority of Manomaya Kosha's existence with the help of the Rug mantras. And in that same 4th Anuvaka, the second portion will talk about introduction to the 4th Kosha called Vignanamaya Kosha, and which is most important, more profound, lot of discussion to be done about that. We will see it tomorrow onwards. Thank you. Om, 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 Om. Invoke all the Rishimuni Gurus, Shruti Mata, Ishta Devata Kripa for the spashta understanding of these mantras indicating to us Panchakoshas. May we, following that knowledge, transcend in our identity from the Sthula Kosha to the innermost Parabrahma. May we love this sadhana and sadhatya. Let us desire this sadhya and sadhana. When we love and desire it, then only we can pray, and our prayers will be so worthy that they will be blessed by the Lord. It's a lack of the intensity in our prayers that the prayers are not quickly answered. So may we be intensely pray to the Guru and Rishis, Paramatma, that the Veda Mantra Avagahana, Dhyana, the Sadhana, Anubhuti, and Nishtha in the Anubhuti happens to us. And those who pray like that, they are blessed. Others will delay their own sadhana by their own wrong choice. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramanushibhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you. Let us do for some time one sutra of Yoga Darshanam.